Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with my fellow late lady herself, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. A little late with this podcast, but still coming through.
And it is episode 244, March 27th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we start off today, tomorrow, March 28th, Mercury conjunct Jupiter.
Grandiose plans.
And Thursday, March 30th, Mars trine Saturn.
Begin a long journey.
And Venus conjunct Uranus.
Can't curb a thing.
Then in talisman times, we have many Bali talismans we would like to share with you, finished and upcoming. Then also on the horizon, we have our April forecast and cheat sheet ready for download and watching now. Just make sure you head over to patreon.com. And in our house, I leave for Bali today after a road trip, and Sandy's bought her first kabaya. So catch up with us and our recent events. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story.
Hello, my late lady.
I know, although I'm like totally Monday night here. You're Monday
Right.
morning. And
You're
like,
even later than me.
Where is the podcast? People are already asking.
I know.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be missed as much as it has been, but here we are. It was a long week of juggling, and podcast is here. It is finally here. So I'm going to go direct to all of you listeners. Thank you so much for all of your feedback, your reviews. We want some more. So I'm going to make a calling for more feedback, more reviews. Send them to me, Alex at intentionbeads.com. Yes, I am a little bit tired. I'm leaving for Bali.
I think you're Tesla tired.
Oh yeah. Story coming soon. And so make sure to email me or send us a review on wherever you listen to this podcast. So let's move into the transits. This is a short week, and we start off with Tuesday, March 28th, Mercury conjunct Jupiter.
Right. This is the planet of communication and commerce and making deals and details, paperwork kind of thing. Mercury is making a conjunction with Jupiter. Now, Mercury comes around and meets up with Jupiter about once every 10, 11, 12 months. But this time it's in Aries. And so there's a lot about grandiose planning that needs a lot of discussion. It needs a lot of like phone calls. It needs a lot of research. It needs things that are detail oriented, right? Because Jupiter is the big plan, Mercury is the detail, and they typically live opposite each other. In the theme of Monday, they live opposite. So Mercury doesn't like the big plans. He likes to see the little minutia. And Jupiter's like, let's just get to it, right?
Yes.
And so within Aries, this Aries is a snap, making quick decisions. So don't delay in making slow ones. Make a decision. Mercury will be retrograding in Taurus, but not yet, not until April period. So you'll have time to review things, but not right now. You're not reviewing them. You're saying yes very quickly to some big plans.
Okay.
I also want to say something that, Mercury is commerce, and it's making the deals. And in Aries, I'm wondering, we also see this going on, and Mercury is setting into the is doing his heliacal rise, has already heliacal risen today, which is the 27th. So here he's coming out of the rays just as Jupiter's going into the rays. So just really interesting that maybe something that has been hidden from our view in the mundane world. Like the details come forward, but the whole idea of the plan isn't expressed. I don't know. I'm watching for something to be something about arms deals. And I know we've been talking about a lot of weaponry. I'm wondering if there's some big stuff going on behind the scenes that we won't be knowing about for a while. Because this is also the day on the Tuesday that Jupiter sets into the beams of the sun. So Jupiter becomes invisible, not seen, because Jupiter goes into the rays of the sun. So we won't be seeing him for a while.
Interesting.
And he'll be a morning star when we do again.
Okay. And so the next and final two transits are both on Thursday, March 30th. That starts off with Mars trine Saturn.
Think about this. Mars in Cancer, trine Saturn in Pisces. So we got the two malefics.
Right.
Mars, the action taker, the agitator, the planet of war, right? I mean, we are in a world of war right now. In the water sign, Mars is in fall in Cancer, and trine, this easy, harmonious energy for Saturn in Pisces, another water sign. So it just seems to be like a start, Saturn, initiate a long journey. Super healing waters. How do I help myself? How do I help myself helping others? It's kind of like needing to get some stuff done, but you're having to swim through water, and it may not be very clear. Again, I said this last week, find your cause. Okay. Even if it's for self-healing, self-care, find that cause. That's a justified cause.
Yes, always. All right. And the second transit of that day, March 30th, is Venus conjunct Uranus.
Right. You can't curb a thing because here Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus, where Venus rules. And here comes Venus, the ruler of Taurus, meeting up with Uranus. And this is at 16 degrees of Taurus. So there's some needing of freedom from earthly problems. So it's like, take a hike, take a bike ride, take a jump, feel excitement in your body, do something exciting, but it may have a shock value. It may have a little bit of surprise, like, did I do that? Kind of thing. So, if you get here, this will be when the ladies start arriving in Bali, and it's like they're hopping on the back of a scooter and they're going, oh my God, did I do that? Things like this. So, take kind of a leap, knowing that you can find ground. There's something about excitement for your body.
Right. And you can find a surprise around every corner, especially in Bali.
Especially on a scooter.
Right.
They're zipping by. And again, one thing that we have said over and over again when Jay and I are walking across the street, it's like, we have to tell anybody who's never been to Bali before, when mother told you to look both ways before crossing a street, the Bali mothers must say, look 17 times up and down before you cross the road, because they're coming from different directions.
Oh yeah.
They're on the other side of the road and they're coming fast on these. So we always find that not funny, but almost frightening.
Right. Okay. So let's move in. Well, that's the end of the week. That's a short week. And we're going to be starting the Bali retreat the day after. Well, 2 days after, April 1st.
April 1st.
And actually, then it's happening.
Little do you know, I've got the dates for next year already.
Ooh, are you going to share those today on the podcast, or are we going to save it for later?
I don't know if you want me to.
Okay. We'll see. Maybe in our house. So moving on to talisman times, Sandy has finished up 3 talismans, all made in Bali, and 2 of them made on Nyepi. And the first is to have many opportunities to advance my public reputation. My public persona as a successful business owner or associate is keen to attract and accept expansive measures to grow as my important self. Moon in Aries conjunct Jupiter and Aries in the 10th house. So kind of that expansive, go-getter, entrepreneurial spirit. That Moon in Aries is a great placement for that.
And actually, we saw that in the sky. Everybody would have been able to see the moon making that aspect to Jupiter. It was beautiful in the sky.
And the next was also made on Nyepi, to seek a higher belief in religion or spirituality. Do you want to take this over? So my eyes, and therefore my mind, see the elevated vision of what is possible. I weave cultural beliefs into my sacred practice. Moon in Aries again, conjunct Jupiter in Aries, but now in the 9th house. That's where those shift over from the more career-driven talisman to a more spirituality and worldly culture talisman.
Yeah, the 9th house is equals. That's what that represents, is in the 9th house. Yeah.
And the next one you made Friday, March 24th, to enhance fertility. I am growing internally to prepare space, nourishment, and fortitude to produce a healthy pregnancy and baby. Moon in Taurus, conjunct North Node in Aries, conjunct Venus in Aries, conjunct Midheaven in Aries in the 3rd lunar mansion. So,
lots going on, right?
Yes. I mean, there is a lot going on just to make a healthy baby.
And by the way, that's Taurus. I must have given you that wrong. I did. That was Moon in Taurus making a conjunction with Venus in Taurus.
Got it. I will update that.
That's why, and that's why the moon is exalted here in Taurus and Venus is the ruler in Taurus. So there is this richly preparation for a birth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the upcoming 2 talismans, first is to attract dignity. I am faithful, stable, charming, and self-assured. I turn on my magnetism to captivate my intended desire. This comes easily to me. Moon.
Yeah, this is. Yeah.
Oh, you got
moon
it. Nice.
Yeah, moon is in Cancer here in the 2nd house, making a really nice aspect to Venus coming up over the horizon in her own sign of Taurus.
And the next talisman, to increase my personal vitality. My vibrancy, exuberance, and liveliness is expanding. I feel my life force engaging with the world. I experience the verve.
The verve. Yeah, this is the sun in Aries. Again, the sun is exalted in Aries. And the sun is coming up over the horizon. So it's a sunrise, while the moon is in the 4th house in the sign of Cancer. So there's this really nice aspect of the sun and the moon. And so this is really to just bring personal vitality. It's what the sun does in Aries, but the moon's also helping it for the body. Yeah.
And just as a reminder, we have a few more days for the talisman of the month, to make a positive influence on others. This is talisman 1281. My ability to reward people in my tribe comes through as a noble gesture. I graciously nourish and permit them to grow. Beautiful power for all of us. And we will be having a new talisman of the month coming up shortly.
Yes, thank you for that reminder.
You're welcome.
For me.
So on the horizon, we just finished up our April forecast and cheat sheet that is all over on our Patreon page. Head over to patreon.com/chattingwiththestars. You're going to see Sandy and Susan coming together, giving you all of the dates for April, as well as a special printout PDF form that you can have by your desk, have on you, or even on your phone, just to keep up with their favorite days, challenging days, and astrologically interesting days.
Yeah.
The next thing on the horizon is a long ways away, but we're going to mention it again here in September 7th through the 14th. We have the 2023 Amargos Greece retreat that we are so excited for. That, yes.
And I think there's one room available.
Okay. All
so,
right.
And it's going fast. And we're still months and months away. So I'm happy to talk to anyone about that for this, for our next retreat.
Okay.
Because basically we can check off Bali, even though we haven't lived it yet.
Right.
But for inviting anyone here to Bali this year, that is done.
Right.
that invitation is off the table for 2023. But
yep.
This is still on.
Okay. Well, let's give the 2024 dates for Bali.
Okay. Well, April.
Got it.
Yeah. April 3rd through April 14th of 2024. And I'm looking at, because we got Mercury will be retrograding right around that period, and Venus and Neptune will be conjunct at 27 degrees of Pisces. So this will be I'll probably be teaching Mercury here, Mercury retrograde, in everyone's chart. Yeah.
Okay. So all about communication.
And then we'll be getting the exact Kazimi while on this retreat. I'm considering, we haven't run it through you yet, running a second one. About a week later. So somebody could come for both.
Wow, that would be cool.
Right? Because if you're going to come all this way, stay.
Right. You want to stay for a bit.
Right? So stick around. I'm planning on even staying longer than a month next year. So it's really nice to be a Bali babe.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah. You see what I have on? Practically.
Yeah, it's a cute tank top.
It's not. It's a pajama top. Look at this. I know nobody can see it, but it's like tie in the back.
Yeah, with
I wore it to dinner tonight because you don't need to wear many clothes.
Right. It's great. It's really cute on you. I like it. So we got to start wrapping up our episode with our house. And I leave for Bali today. I can't even believe it. It has come so quickly. And I just finished a road trip with my love. We went to go visit some family before a month long out of the country. So that was super fun, which I have more to share, because he surprised me with not taking the normal car, but a Tesla. Rented a Tesla. First time ever driving a Tesla. We took my 91-year-old grandma in the Tesla. We went 60 miles an hour in a 35. In Ohio, we are lucky that we didn't get pulled over, but she was thrilled. She was having so much fun. I was the worrywart in the back, being like, whoa, 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 don't, whoa, 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 whoa. Well,
I saw you videoed that, and it makes sense. My mom, I mean, she's come from a family of car loving family. Her brother was a
hot rod loving,
a drag strip racer.
Yeah.
We Granny Goose. We used to go to I was like 15 and 16 years old wearing my midriff and my hip hugger pants.
You're back wearing a midriff now.
and going to the drag strip with my parents. Yeah. Wow. So I knew she would like that. I'm glad she
it was her first time in a Tesla. I had to, it's a big learning curve for it just to be like, another car on the road, because you got to make sure that you even figure out how to open the car door. You got to stick your thumb in, and then pull open the door. There's little things that you don't realize are so different in the Tesla. And when you accelerate, it is so super fast. Mimi said, am I taking off on an airplane right now? It's so quiet and it's so smooth and super fast. It was a ball. We also took out my aunt and uncle.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah. My aunt in the back, we were all giggling because I don't think I've ever smiled or giggled so much in a car before. Maybe when I was like under the age of 16.
What did my brother think?
No, it was Uncle John.
Oh, it wasn't my brother. It was your other uncle.
Right.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think in Cincinnati, everyone was they couldn't believe that it was solely electric, because I think the hybrids are much more popular, and he was convinced that it was a dual motor, meaning like it could have like two different types of fuel, like gas or electric. And it is just one big old battery that is the most powerful thing that I've ever driven.
Yeah. And charging a lot. I guess you had to charge a lot.
We had to
Otherwise,
charge.
you weren't going anywhere.
Right. But it was kind of convenient, and it does, as fast as it does slow you down a little bit, because especially on a long road trip, you're not like a quick in and out in the gas station, or, oh, let's hurry and make a bathroom break and jump back in the car and get on the road. It's maybe a 20 or 30 minute break. And it's a little bit relaxing, because you're like, okay, well, I guess I'll stand up and do some stretching or get an ice cream and a burger. And I did notice, though, a lot of people eat in their cars in Teslas, rightfully so. I mean, they'll go get some food, go to the charging station, and have 20 or 30 minutes to eat. Right. There's plenty of space in there. Do
they have TV trays?
No, that's going to be coming up next. Yeah. And then you're going to really feel like you're in an airplane.
You're about to experience that. You've got a long day that will last 2 days.
Right. It's going to be, yes. And after a long road trip, I had to make the executive decision that it was time for bed, and we were going to be recording this podcast the next morning, just a little bit delayed. So my apologies. This is my doing, everyone. So you blame me for your late astrology forecast. But so heading over to Bali today. I'm pretty much packed. Just need to double check the weights of the luggage and make sure that there are things that I'm not forgetting. But honestly, I do feel pretty comfortable, because even before an international trip, I do get a little bit anxious or nervous of like, do I have everything? Is there, but at the same time, when you go to Bali, you realize that you really don't need all the things that you think you need back here in the US.
Just bring your Dramamine, your pillow from the airport, cash, and your passport.
Yes.
Right. And your vaccination card. They didn't even ask for it once we got in Bali, but they asked for it at the O'Hare airport. But really, if I could show you the clothes that I have not worn, and I usually say I leave them here.
I know.
And there's some of my cute clothes, and I'm like, I better just
have to wear them.
But it's too hot here. I'm not wearing long pants, and I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be cold one night. I'll get some. I brought a turtleneck, long sleeve.
Brought a turtleneck to Bali.
Stop it. I just thought what if it's chilly one night? I'm like, oh my God,
we forget.
It's not chilly
being in the snowstorms for an entire Chicago long winter,
It's,
we forget that
look at
Bali
me,
actually is.
you see more skin than you do fabric here, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So before we talk
so
about your kabaya, your recent
yeah,
addition to your wardrobe,
ever since I got here, ever
no,
since I've been coming to
I wanted
Bali.
to share I wanted to share something.
Oh,
So this morning, I Rocco told me that 2 people were deported from Bali because they were not following the rules of Nyepi. There were two backpackers that decided just to like walk around and eat their lunch on the beach, and they had their backpacks on, and clearly that was a breach of the even federal law.
It's a federal religious law.
Mhm.
They don't F around with.
They don't mess around with their
Are you
spirituality.
kidding me? Where were these
Right.
people from?
Oh, I don't know those details, but it was a little bit, I wasn't surprised, let's say, but just to get them on an airplane and send them back home, that was a little bit more on the shocking side for me of,
Well, they wouldn't have left that day because there's the
Right.
airport's closed.
Right.
So they would have left the next day, but I bet they took them in, and
Mhm.
they're probably not allowed back in Bali.
And that's unfortunate.
Like in fact, of course, we're staying at an Airbnb, and of course, I wanted to be here at Nyepi. I chose to be here at Nyepi.
Mhm.
We purposely planned everything the day before, and I got this long email from the Airbnb people the day before, all the rules listed, 1, 2, 3, all these rules, and I knew them. One of the rules I did not know, that they are turning off the Wi-Fi on the island.
And did they?
I guess I didn't go on.
Because you didn't even test it out.
No, I mean, we didn't use, like, we didn't go on to telephone. You can't listen to music. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to use any lights. So it was like, read a book, and you really weren't allowed to have any entertainment. You're not allowed to have sex. You're not, everybody's supposed to be quiet in their own space.
Mhm.
And, I don't know, I do remember
more solitude.
So at one point, it was getting toward the end of the night, and Jay comes out of her room, and I was just sitting on the couch watching the sun go down.
Mhm.
And she comes out with a notebook and a pen, and she's writing me notes.
I'm not talking, but I am.
So we don't
messages.
talk. Yeah.
Right.
So we lit candles, but you're not allowed to have lights on and there was no scooters. Oh my God, it was so peaceful.
I'm sure it's so peaceful.
Yeah. Anyway, it was in Nyepi next year is March 11th, which is why I want to come out here March 1st.
Okay.
I'm making plans for that. But so one other thing, can I talk about my kabaya?
Yes.
I think I mentioned it last time on the call, or on the podcast. Did I? I don't remember.
It's a good question.
So it's the formal traditional women's wear. That is the sarong skirt. It looks like a sarong, but it's a skirt it's got a zipper in it, and it's got elastic waist, and
that's helpful.
It's so helpful, but it's really tulip ankle tight. You take these little tiny steps.
Yeah, like a mermaid dress, basically.
It's like a mermaid dress without the fins. Yeah. But the kabaya is this lace, long sleeve lace that like eyelets in the front, and and then you wear a sash around this. They're so becoming, and they're so beautiful, and they're such great colors that because we were going to the Balinese wedding, we had to dress properly. And so I thought you were going to tell me somebody got deported because they didn't wear proper clothing in the temple. Because that's
Oh, yeah. No.
no,
Mm-mm.
right. However, so Jay and I went to where all the Balinese women get there. So we didn't go to the Ubud market for it. We went down to the really nice shop where all the women get theirs. Even the bridal party and the bride got theirs from this place. So we were all decked out. We had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get going. And we had our beautiful makeup on, and
Mm-hmm.
when we get there, there's 1,500 people invited to this wedding. So we get the directions. We have our driver pick us up, and it can't be Koman because he's driving the bride to the wedding. It's not our buddy. We got another driver. But we thought, we're not even going to see the bride or the groom because there's 1,500 people and we're just American citizens just, snooping at this wedding. It's not like we got a personal invitation from, nobody mailed us anything to invite us. So we really didn't think, so we get escort, and trust me, it's nothing like an American wedding. When we get there, the bride and groom are already mulling around talking to everybody in the temple, which is the compound. And they sit us in this 2 chairs. Jay was in front of me and I was behind her. And then there were 2 chairs to her left. And
oh no, did you freeze? Let's see if you come back. Oh, here you are. You are back.
yeah, I guess it was a bad, it's raining right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful tropical rain, evening rain.
Yeah.
I know. So yeah, there were, 1,500 people invited to this. We didn't think we would see the bride and groom at all. Here we get there and we're sitting next to them, or they are sitting next to us.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And then we watched of course, we didn't understand anything. And it wasn't like we were talking to people to find out what was going on, because we were front and center, and I'm sure we're on the videos and everything, but
oh my goodness,
we could understand the symbolism of how the man was carrying a tree, a long like tree with a coconut stuck to it over his shoulder, carrying it past this it depicted like a doorway. And the woman had a bowl with fruits and vegetables in it, and she was carrying that over her head. And then they'd walk in, bend down, stir up a little a spoon with a pot, and then they'd get back out and walk out this like pretend doorway, and then they'd walk back in and stir the pot. And it really was depicting that they're taking care of their new home. And remember, the wife moves into the boys' compound, moves into the boys' family's compound.
The man, yeah.
The man.
Okay.
The man. These were about 24 and 25 years old. Very typical to be married in your early to mid 20s here. It's very typical, and very low divorce, very, very low. It's the priest chooses the astrological date.
Oh, for the wedding?
And of course, that's the day I had 2 talismans to make, and I could only make one of them because I was at the wedding. So yeah, the Balinese priest and me and myself picked these dates for good things to come. And so we met some expats there. We became friends with them. We went back for the reception a little bit later, and we said, what should we wear? Do we wear our traditional kabayas? And all they told us was freedom, wear freedom.
Freedom.
It's freedom wear.
So Braveheart?
It's wear whatever you want.
Okay.
Wear whatever you want, because you're not going into the temple and you're going to a party. And of course there was gamelan and, drum music. We left before people started dancing, but I guess it it lasted till the morning time, like 7 a.m.
That would have been interesting. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
They will blow us out of the water.
Yeah.
So is there drinks? Like alcoholic drinks? Because that's a typical American wedding.
Totally. Yeah. I saw cases of beer being brought in, but we didn't have any. And I did come on when we walked into the reception, looks up, because he was greeting everybody. He and Susanti were quite involved in, the whole barnyard made all the decorations, made all the food. You were given little boxes with little food things in it and a bottle of water for the early morning. And Kumon was the driver of this like VW, kind of looked like a golf cart VW thing. But I got pictures. I mean, the bride was beautiful. The man wears makeup. He is wearing a crown.
They're like Prada outfits, because Prada means gold in Balinese. You know, that like kind of like gold, very shimmery, like kind of like diamond and like floral diamond type of patterning on those. It's called Prada. And I remember that from one of our first trips out to Bali. And I was like, I wonder if that's where the brand Prada came from. So I have no idea. It's all speculation at this point, but the wedding outfits are beautiful. The headdresses, the makeup.
And they're made out of flowers. They're gold. They're these gold massive crowns that show up like almost like a teepee, like a pyramid. But the back of them is all flowers.
Oh, pretty.
Because I sat there, because she was sitting right in front of me.
Right there.
Right there. But really, really cool. And they do, of course, a lot of prayers, and they do the rice, and, they sip the water 3 times, pour it over their head 3 times. Kind of like they're going to the Turtain pool that we'll go to. So just magnificent, really.
Yeah, very cool. So excited to go. It's been so long. COVID really put a damper on our latest plans to return to Bali, but I'm excited and it's happening. I am going to be leaving for the airport shortly. So
I know. Well, safe trip.
Thank you.
Dramamine it up. You'll sleep and you won't get.
I will sleep.
Yeah. Good for you.
So
yeah, and I'll see you come. I think Booty's picking you up with a couple of the ladies.
Perfect.
And I'll see you. We'll move from this 2-bedroom villa over to the 7-bedroom, and we'll
have our pre-retreat and then start the retreat shortly after. So exciting. We will get back to all you podcast listeners as soon as we can and give you an update on what's going on from Bali. So thank you everybody for listening to this episode of Astrological Intentions. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story